All right, this is another one of those Euro profiles from Hans Christian's box, and I've been kind of putting this one off because it's a little unusual. It's probably the toughest lock in the entire box. It's a Zeiss Ikon, as you can see, original manufacturer. It's a 7-pinner. We got excellent bitting, and take a look at that key. And let's get back to that key in a minute. Look at the key way. So incredible amount of warding in there, and you got these two little sidebars shooting off to the, well, side cuts, I should say. I looked down there with a flashlight and I didn't see any side pins in there. I'm hoping there's none in the back. But when you look at the key, you can see we got these little bars sticking out on both sides of this key. Very evil looking. But when I take a 15 thousandths, I believe we're going to be able to get through the warding here. So I think that warding might just be for show. It doesn't seem to be binding up in there, so it might just be for show. Hopefully those 7 pins are a little bit more of a challenge. Let's clamp it up, see if we can get this guy picked. All right, that ought to hold it. Let's find those keys. Still the same key, still the same lock. I tried to clamp it so the actuator doesn't get pinched, and that seems to work okay. All right, hopefully we won't need those, but with a 7-pin Zeiss Ikon, there's no telling. I might need to keep those things close. All right, find a tensioner, find a tensioner. So let's slide this dude. A little too thick, doesn't quite go. Let's try his thinner little brother, the SP13, and he fits. Got a little bit of slop. I hope I don't have to control the core too precisely, especially if we have security pins, which I bet money we do. Let me grab a 15th. This is my deforced half diamond, my rat yoke, and I'm going to pick it. Let's try counterclockwise. So let's start from the front. See, that has a little bit of play in it because of this little cut on that side. So it's a little bit crooked, but I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Let's start from the front. I don't know why. Lock doesn't care. Nothing. Springy. I'm barely putting any tension on this because I really do. Oh, there was about pin 4. Wow, a lot of crunchiness. Keep going, come on. Very light tension. I'm almost positive we're dealing with security pins, probably serrated or those really nasty Zeiss Ikon, those anti-bumps with the single cut on one end that act like a serrated until you overset them, which I think I just did on pin 3. Hear that crunchiness? Don't think those two are ready to pick yet. But they're definitely making noise. Okay, nobody in the front is binding. I got one binder right around pin 3. Let me get on him. Okay, got a little click. That was the one behind him. I believe it's around 4. No feedback. I have no counter rotation. Oh, wait a minute. What is that? That's acting like counter rotation on pin 1. But nothing. Oh, I'll take it. That is a fault set. I'll take that for sure. There's counter rotation on pin 2. So apparently it's full of spools. So release tension and push him through the shear line. And I think we lost our fault set there. And nope, we got it back. All right, now I'm on pin 3. Also feels like a spool. And we got our fault set back. Let's go back and see if 1 fell back down. Nope. 2's fallen back down. And there we go. I will take it and be grateful for it, especially on a 7-pinner. Tell you what, just for fun, this lock I think is not intended to come apart. There are no screws or bar to take out, no set screws. There's no washers in here for me to remove. And there's nothing inside of that hole there. There seems like there'd be a little button to push to set your actuator, but in this case it's not. You can see the bottom of a partially drilled hole, but there's no plunger or anything. I don't know if this was permanently put together. You know, maybe they shoved together and it has a permanent snap in there and that was it. No matter, I'm going to take a saw, cut it right there, pull it out, and let's gut it and see what this guy's got inside of it. All right, let's go through this learning curve together. Just cut through there. It is matte finish, chromed finish, but the lock itself is brass. So from a snapping perspective, this would have been snappable. This is the side, yeah, this is the side I picked, so let's focus on him. All right, now what? There's got to be a way. And there is, and it always involves force. Have you ever noticed that? So, German lock, German screwdriver. And I totally get this is not how you use screwdrivers, but it works. Okay, there's the unlocked part. So we're going to set him over here. Let's focus on the side that I picked. All right, here's all the little pieces that popped out of there. I got no clue what that stuff is. It is picked. He should. Oh, I locked him. That was the, yeah, that was, I must have locked it. So, it doesn't matter. We have those keys. And I am going to take a hollow follower. But before we do that, I'm going to pry this little piece out of here. I don't know what oh, that's the key, dang it. Don't they make this interesting? All right, I'm going to take that little slot, fit it over that tip of the key, and see if that doesn't work. And there we go. Probably not the way it was intended, but you got what you got. All right, a lot of grease in here. That's a steel pin, and the rest of these look like, oh, we had a master wafer on number 3. These are all standards. All right, so we had one master wafer in 3, and nothing unusual about the core. A lot of wear on there. There are side pins here, but they're for key control only, so we didn't have to pick those guys. So let's shove that key in there and see what happens. Okay, it holds them in place. We'll look at the body to see if there's something for those to go into, but they don't really protrude past the profile of the core. I don't really see what they're for. Perhaps if you picked and shoved them out too far, maybe there's a slot that they go in. We'll find out. All right, let's see what else we got here. Now it is a hollow one, so we're going to have a little bit of trouble here because they might fall down the side of there. All right, we have another master wafer that popped out, and luckily I saw where that dude went. So there's one, and he's a steel pin, and there is the master wafer that was stuck in the upper chamber. So 2 of the chambers were master wafered so far, and there's another one. Nope, take it back. That one is the spool, and we knew we had to find a spool here somewhere. Another spool. I'm not going to worry about that. Another master wafer on another spooled chamber. And he was in there like that. And there are 2 ball bearings in that spring. So I guess we do need to pay attention to some springs. And as I pick up number 1, it also had some ball bearings that when it popped out, I didn't actually see those. All right, let's flip it around and look at the other side. A little easier, better light. All right, so now we're looking at chamber 7, and as a standard, And no ball bearings. We have a master wafer and a standard. And now I'm starting to understand why this one was, well, for a Zeiss Ikon, kind of easy to pick, quite honestly. I did not expect to get in there that quickly on a 7-pinner. And the last one, a standard. And no ball bearings. And that should be it. All right, guys, here's what we're looking at. Yeah, it was a little easier than I had anticipated because it looks like we had 4 chambers that were master wafered. So it gave me a lot of extra shear lines to have a possibility of hitting, and obviously I did. And then we had 2 of these springs that I've only seen lately in Zeiss Ikon, and also all from Hans Christian, that have these ball bearings inside the springs as an anti-bump measure. So very cool lock. It's just a shame it was so easy to pick with all those master wafers. Anyway, guys, appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Hans, thank you for all the lock, guys.